John Bryan Gantos Jr. was born on July 2, 1951 in Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, and grew up in a nearby town of Norvelt. His father, Jack Gantos, was a construction superintendent, and his mother, Elizabeth Weaver Gantos, was a banker. Jack's writing career was planted in the 6th grade about age 12, when he read his sister's diary and decided he could write better than she could. Raised in South Florida and in the Caribbean, he began collecting anecdotes in grade school and later gathered them into stories. Gantos read whatever he was told to by his teachers. As he got older, he read all the books his big sister read because she was a great reader and very smart. By the time he was in middle school, he read his parents' books. His dad read roar novels, and he read what his father read, including all the eye-popping scenes of sailors on shore in Singapore. But books like Lord of the Flies, 1984, The Catcher in the Rye, On the Road, Stop Time, Revolutionary Road, books like these really spoke to him personally. He said it was like having a private conversation with these books. When he was 7, his family moved to Barbados. He attended British schools where there was much emphasis on reading and writing, and his teachers made learning a lot of fun. His parents moved so often that he attended 10 different schools between kindergarten and 12th grade. Jack spent his senior year of high school in Florida after his parents had already moved to Puerto Rico. During that year, Gantos worked at a grocery store, bought a car, and lived in an old motel run by David Crockett's great-great-granddaughter. After finishing high school, Gantos made a last-minute decision not to attend the University of Florida. Instead, he moved to the Virgin Islands to work on a construction project with his father. While hanging out in a bar one day, Gantos was approached by a man with an offer he couldn't refuse. Sail a small boat from the Caribbean Sea to the United States for $10,000. That much money would pay for a 4-year of college, and more, Gantos reasoned at the time. The only catch was that the boat was filled with 2,000 pounds of hash. When Gantos reached the shore of New Jersey, the FBI and the U.S. military had been tracking his boat. At the age of 20, he was sent to prison. During his 18 months behind bars, Jack Gantos read, wrote, and vowed to turn his life around. After getting out of prison, he moved to Boston, in which he enrolled into Emerson College and received a Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree and a Master of Arts degree. While in college, he began working on picture books for children. Within 2 years, he sold his first children's book about a rotten red cat named Ralph. Gantos continues to write children's books and teaches courses in children's book writing. He developed a master's degree program in children's book writing at Emerson College in Boston, and is now teaching in Vermont College in the Master of Fine Arts program for children's book writers. Today, he lives with his wife and daughter in Boston, Massachusetts. Dead in Norvelt is the winner of the 2012 Newbery Medal for the year's Best Children's Literature and the Scott Odell Award for Historical Fiction. The novel is about a kid named Jack Gantos whose plans for vacation are shot down when he is grounded for life by his feuding parents, and who gets a nosebleed at every shock he gets. His mom loans him out to help a feisty old neighbor with the most unusual chore, typewriting obituaries filled with stories about the people who founded the town. As one obituary leads to another, Jack is on a strange adventure involving molded wax, Eleanor Roosevelt, twisted promises, a homemade airplane, Girl Scout cookies, a man on a trike, a dancing plague, voices from the past, hell angels, and possibly murder. Joey Pigza Loses Control is a 2001 Newbery Honor Book. When Joey Pigza meets his dad for the first time in years, he meets a grown-up version of his old out-of-control self. Carter Pigza is as wired as Joey used to be, before his stint in special ed and before he got his new meds. Joey's mom reluctantly agrees that he can stay with his dad for the summer visit, which sends Joey racing with sky-high hopes that he and Carter can finally get to know each other. But as the weeks whirl by, Carter has bigger plans in mind. He decides that just as he pulled himself up by his own bootstraps, Joey can do the same and become as normal as any kid, without the help of a doctor's prescription. Carter believes Joey can do it, and Joey wants to believe him more than anything in the world. Joey Pigza Swallowed the Key is a 1998 National Book Award finalist for Young People's Literature. Joey Pigsa's got heart. He's got a mom who loves him, and he got dud meds, which is what he calls the Ritalin pills that are supposed to even out his wild mood swings. Sometimes Joey makes bad choices. He learns the hard way that he shouldn't stick his finger in the pencil sharpener, or swallow his house key, or run with scissors. Joey ends up bouncing around a lot, and eventually he bounces himself all the way downtown into the district special ed program, which could be the end of the line. As Joey knows, if he keeps making bad choices, he could just fall between the cracks for good, but he is determined not to let this happen. Hole in My Life is a 2003 Prince Honor autobiography describing the period of Jack Gantos' life after graduating high school. In the summer of 1971, Jack Gantos was an aspiring writer looking for an adventure, cash for college tuition, and a way out of a dead-end job. For $10,000, he recklessly agreed to help sell a 60-foot yacht loaded with a ton of hash from the Virgin Islands to New York City, where he and his partner sold the drug until federal agents caught up with them. For this part in the conspiracy, Gantos was sentenced to serve up to 6 years in prison, but only served 18 months. Gantos confronts this period of his life on struggle and confinement that marked the end of his own youth. Gantos pieces together the story of his relentless final year of high school, his short-lived career as a criminal, and his time in prison. But running just beneath the action is the story of how Gantos, who once was locked up in a small yellow-walled cell, moved from wanting to be a writer to writing. Joey Pigsa is the main character in a series of children's books written by Jack Gantos. Joey has ADHD. Joey often struggles throughout the series with balancing his desire to behave and his impulses. Jack Gantos got the idea for Joey Pigsa when he was visiting a school in Pennsylvania. Talking about writing, the kid was sitting in the front row spinning around on the seat of his chair. The kid was really smart and having a blast. The kid would start to tell a joke, and he would figure out the punchline and say it before Gantos could. Gantos noticed the kid was having fun, but then he changed. The kid became quite worried, yelling, "Teacher, teacher, I forgot to take my medication." The teacher pointed to the door, and out the kid ran. Gantos could hear the kid slapping every locker as he ran down the hall to the nurse's office. The Jack Henry books are a series of books in which detail stories from the 6th grade. The collection of Jack Henry are autobiography and semi-autobiography sketch stories of a boy named Jack, who has lived in 9 houses and has gone to 5 different schools because of his dad's desire to find a better job by moving from place to place. The story is written in diary form, which has samples of Jack's handwriting and photocopied items such as a mouse skin and a squashed bug. Jack gets into situations with family, friends, and neighbors, and at school. He fights with his know-it-all sister, attends the funeral of his maternal grandfather, sees his dog eaten by an alligator, and generally tries to do the right thing but lands in trouble. Rotten Ralph was first published in 1976 while Gantos was still in college. The books are a series of picture books and chapter books. Rotten Ralph's character indulges in bad behavior at home, such as crashing his bike into the dining room table, sawing the tree limb that supports the swing of his owner, Sarah, and wearing father's slippers. Sarah's family takes Ralph to the circus, but he misbehaves so badly that he is left there as a punishment. Even though Ralph continues to get away with his naughty behavior, such as ruining holidays, spoiling Sarah's show and tell, and at birthday parties, and even at weddings, Sarah still loves him anyway. Zip 6 is an adult novel by Jack Gantos, which was published in 1996. The story is about a drug dealer whose luck runs out when he is involved in a drug smuggling scheme, which leads to his conviction and a possible 6-year sentence. Desired Lines is a young adult novel published in 1997 by Jack Gantos. The story is about a 16-year-old boy by the name of Walker who has accidentally discovered that 2 female classmates are lovers. When a preacher arrives in their town, a witch hunt is launched against gay students, and Walker, for some reason, is the prime target. Walter knows the quickest way to divert the attention would be to give away the girl's secret, but should he sacrifice their peace of mind for his?